Imagine standing on the beach and watching a ship sail far into the distance. At first, you can see the whole ship, but as it moves farther away, the bottom part disappears before the top. If the Earth were flat, the ship would simply get smaller and smaller, but it would still remain fully visible. Instead, it slowly sinks below the horizon, proving that we are standing on a round world. So, why does it matter to know that the Earth is round? Because understanding the true shape of our planet is not just about winning an argument. It is about seeing how nature really works. The round Earth explains why we have time zones, why we can travel around the world and come back to the same place, and why satellites can orbit high above us. It connects science, travel, and even our daily lives. By the end of this story, you will not only understand why the Earth is round, but also appreciate the beauty of the evidence that surrounds us every single day. One of the oldest and simplest proofs that the Earth is round can be seen with your own eyes at the ocean. Imagine standing on the shore, watching a ship sail away. At first, the ship is big and clear, but as it moves farther, something strange happens. The bottom part disappears first, while the top part, like the mast or the sails, stays visible for longer. Slowly, the rest of the ship vanishes until it is gone. If the Earth were flat, this would not happen. The ship would just look smaller and smaller, like a toy getting farther away. But the fact that it disappears bottom first tells us something very important. The surface of the Earth is curved. You are not watching the ship sink. You are watching it go over the curve of the planet. This is not just an idea from modern science. Even ancient sailors, thousands of years ago, noticed this. They used it as proof that the Earth could not be flat. They did not have satellites or advanced technology, but their eyes and careful observation were enough to show the truth. The curved horizon is also why you cannot see very far across the Earth. When you stand on the ground, your view is limited by the curve. But if you climb a mountain or fly in a plane, suddenly you can see much farther. This is because the higher you go, the more of the curve you can see. So, the horizon and the ship are not just random details. They are everyday evidence that the Earth is round, visible to anyone willing to watch closely. Another simple but powerful proof that the Earth is round comes from something we can all see in the night sky: a lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse happens when the Earth moves directly between the sun and the moon. The Earth blocks the sunlight and its shadow falls on the moon. Now here is the important part. Every single time this happens, the shadow of the Earth on the moon is curved. Not sometimes straight, not sometimes angled, but always curved. That curved shadow is the fingerprint of a round Earth. If the Earth were flat, the shadow would not always look the same. Depending on how the sun and the moon lined up, it could be straight, oval, or some strange shape. But the fact that the shadow is always curved tells us that the Earth is shaped like a sphere. This observation was known even in ancient times. More than 2,000 years ago, Greek thinkers like Aristotle wrote about how the Earth must be round because of the curved shadow it cast during lunar eclipses. They did not have spaceships or cameras to confirm it. They simply looked up and saw the evidence written across the sky. It is beautiful when you think about it. The moon becomes a canvas, and the Earth paints its shadow across it, showing us the shape of our home planet. It is like the universe reminding us of where we are and how we fit into the cosmic dance. So the next time you see a lunar eclipse, remember, you are not just watching a pretty light show. You are looking at proof, written in shadow, that the Earth is round. The third clear proof that the Earth is round is found in the journeys people take around the planet. Imagine getting on a plane in one country and flying west. If you keep flying in the same direction, you will eventually come back to the exact place where you started. This is possible only on a round world. On a flat Earth, you would reach an edge or a wall. But in reality, there is no edge. The Earth curves back on itself, forming a sphere. This is not just theory. It is something people do every day. Commercial flights cross oceans and continents, creating paths that only make sense on a globe. For example, flights between North America and Asia often fly over the Arctic. On a flat map, it looks like a strange detour, but on a round Earth, it is actually the shortest route. Pilots and navigators rely on the curve of the Earth to plan efficient paths across the sky. Sailors also proved this long ago. During the Age of Exploration, ships circled the Earth completely, sailing west and returning home from the east. The most famous example is Ferdinand Magellan's expedition in the 16th century, which became the first known voyage to circle the globe. They started in Spain, traveled across oceans, and after years of hardship, returned to Spain from the opposite direction. That journey would have been impossible if the Earth were flat. Even today, we can see this with modern technology. Satellites orbit the Earth, circling a round planet. The internet, GPS, and global communication depend on this reality. Every time you use a phone or a map app, you are using proof that the Earth is round without even thinking about it. So traveling around the world, whether by ship, by plane, or by satellite, all points to the same truth. Our planet is not flat, it is round. And because of that, we are all connected on one continuous surface. So, why is the Earth round and not flat? We have seen three simple but powerful proofs. First, the horizon and the way ships disappear bottom. First, show us the curve of the Earth. Second, the shadow during a lunar eclipse is always curved, proving the Earth is a sphere. And third, the fact that we can travel around the world by sea, by air, or even by satellite shows that the Earth has no edge, but instead wraps around itself. These are not just scientific facts from books. They are everyday observations, things you can see with your own eyes or experience in your own life. The round Earth explains why time zones exist, why flights follow curved paths, and why global communication works the way it does. It is not only about science, but also about how we live, travel, and connect with one another on this planet. Believing that the Earth is round is not about following authority. It is about looking at the world carefully, asking questions, and being open to evidence. It shows us that truth is often right in front of us, waiting to be noticed. And when we notice it, we gain not just knowledge, but also a sense of wonder. So the next time you look at the horizon, or the moon during an eclipse, or even when you see a flight path on a map, remember this: you are standing on a round planet, spinning through space, part of a grand universe. And that is something worth celebrating. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and never stop being curious about the world around you, because curiosity is the first step to understanding the truth.